Let's try it this way. What do we got? Georgia's 98% in, and Trump's still got a... Well, it's still not reported all the way yet. Trump's 98%. He's got a 33,000 vote lead, dude. There's no way. Not with 98% in. Nevada's a train wreck, and I know they've called these two, but Wisconsin and Michigan are going to go to the courts. No, it's not over, crackers, because the problem is, for like example, right now in Michigan, they're not letting the poll watchers in, which is basically going to invalidate that county, so they're going to have to recount it. Trump's already asked for a recount in Wisconsin, which if he's within point... Ooh, he might not be close enough to get a recount. Well, no, he can because he can sit. He's saying there's impropriety. I'm surprised they haven't called North Carolina yet or Georgia. Nevada, we're not going to know till tomorrow about 2 o'clock. No, it's not that only Democrats can do the counting. They're stopping all the poll watchers, Scav. That's the problem. So, or they're keeping them they're making them stay like 100 feet away or some stupid shit. So they're just giving excuses for Trump to be able to fucking contest the election, which is going to drag it out. Wisconsin pulled far enough away. Oh, it's only 20,000 votes. Oh, shit, dude. Huh. Right, all at the same time. That's what everybody's saying, is that all at the same time, like 20,000 votes showed up for Trump, um, or 13 or 15,000, whatever it was for Biden. What is that? Where's that tweet at? I saw that tweet somewhere showing that chart. Now there is an actual explanation for that, but oh, you don't have to be so loud. There is an explanation for that happening of sorts, but they're not even attempting to make a legitimate one. Arizona's going to be nuts, dude, because this here has been tightening on Maricopa County, and if a whole bunch come in for Trump and it flips Arizona back, it makes a mess of everything. Nevada is going to be a complete fucking shit show because Nevada is going to be worse than Pennsylvania when it comes to their fraudulent voting, because they have like... Really, Jake? You're one of the fucking Sharpie dudes? Dude, you got they're gonna end up counting your vote, man. You got to go make sure that they... I mean, I'm guessing they handed you a Sharpie. Dude, tomorrow, you know Crowder, right? Louder with Crowder, Jake? He was looking for people just like you. He wants to talk to people like you. Um, I forget what it is. It's like it's his email that you ask him questions or for advice or something like that for his one segment that's like you're asking for life advice or something. You know, it's kind of a joke. He was asking for people to send him emails there if they've had that experience in Arizona. So you fucking send him an email, dude, because Crowder's all over it. Yeah, North Nevada. Well, Nevada went blue hardcore in 16, dude. I mean, it's because of fucking Reno and Vegas, right? It's just kind of like New York or anything else. It's just these two fucking counties. And if you look at the overall, Hillary won it by what, 27,000. And part of it's because the fucking so many votes go to that independent. So many people in Nevada vote independent. Whoopsies. That causes a lot of fucking problems. I mean, you want to see states that just completely get mucked up by blue? I mean, look at New York, dude. Look, all of these counties voted for Trump, but because you have fucking uh, down here on the Long Island, you have millions and millions of votes, and then up at Albany, and then that's Buffalo. I don't know what's there. I mean, look at Minnesota, dude. Minnesota's all red, but because you got fucking Minneapolis and the Panhandle, fucking state goes blue by a lot. And Illinois is another fucking prime example of it, dude. If it wasn't for Chicago, Illinois would be a red state. Yeah, crackers, it's just a sad deal, dude, because the Democrats had so much better. I mean, there was candidates that the Democrats had in the start of their uh, things that I would have considered voting for. Yang would have been a stretch. He could have convinced me, but Tulsi Gabbard for sure, dude. It's the opposite, Jake. It's not where all the rich lives. I mean, that's part of it, dude. But it's mostly people. It's just low information voters, man. People that don't do any research, and all they see is the quick snippets about. They say Trump told them to put bleach in their fucking system, or yeah, no, I'm 100% with you, crackers, and that's fine. The thing is her gun control stance is less bad than Biden's. It's because rich people don't pay taxes, Scav. They don't give a shit about what Biden raises the taxes on. Every one of them has a way to get out of it, and I know it because I've done it for years too through real estate. My effective tax rate for the last 10 years, dude, was probably it depended on the year, but it was somewhere between 10 and 14% is what I paid to the federal government every year. And I made some years I made over $200,000, but I only paid 10% in taxes because of tax shelters. It's the way it's designed, man. Is there anything else? Is there any like headlines on it or anything? I mean, one of the crazy things, guys, I don't know if you saw this, but in 2016, so these are all heavily Hispanic counties down here. So everybody except like right here, right? So Trump lost this by what? 33%. Check this out. Trump won it by 5. And these are all very heavy Hispanic counties. So the Hispanic vote swung towards Trump huge. Well, and not just that, Stone Scav. Only parts of Pittsburgh are red. So like this county here, which is honestly the nicer county. I have a buddy who lives out there. It's Trump voters everywhere. That's all it is Trump voters. The problem is you've got Philly, which is probably one of the most corrupt voting districts in the whole country. So is everybody, Stone. I mean, it's because he closed the gap. I mean, look at this, dude. Miami, he closed it to fucking 6 points, man. And it's because these counties went so hard for Trump. He closed the gap on them so much because Cubans are like, they're like, when you say fucking socialism or communism, it's like fucking, it's like garlic to a vampire, dude. They stay away, stay away. So, that's a big reason why. Plus, his message resonated with Hispanic voters. California went bluer than it normally does, which is really scary. Well, I guess maybe not. Is there anything that flipped? So Placer County is going to be the only one. And it's really close. Well, one thing I want to make sure you guys keep in mind, and I tell a lot of my liberal friends this, is the number of people who vote with ill intent to hurt somebody else is pretty small. Everybody believes they're doing the right thing. And doesn't matter who wins, what's got to be really important is not to rub it in the other side's face. You know, if Trump wins, you can't go out and neener boo boo, but the polls are wrong. You liberals are retarded. We can't be doing any of that shit because we all did it really bad with Hillary because it felt so good to be the underdog and win. And all it does is push people away from you. It alienates people, and nobody wants to be around and listen to even what you have to say. And that's why, you know, Arizona flipping blue is really, really fucking bad. And Nevada, it's already happened in Colorado, but all the Californians that are spreading, moving, the liberal Californians that leave California go to Nevada and Arizona. The kind of conservative people who leave California come to Montana, where I'm at, and go to Texas or, you know, various other states. But that's where everybody's leaving. And the problem is they're bringing their voting patterns with them. You know, one thing I don't think everybody took into account for, Metal, is everybody's going to be so fatigued after the next 2 or 3 days that you're going to see some small shit spool up, but it's going to be nothing like last time because there's not going to be anybody to help to do it. Everybody's going to be so tired of this in a week that... Yeah, no, the scary thing is, Scav, is it's not going to be. And the worst part is you're with Biden being elected, you're probably going to see more state governments crack down even harder and come up with really bad mandates. I just saw an article in the local newspaper that our county here in Montana. Yeah, Jake, every construction person 100%, dude, and that's because they work and they pay a lot of fucking taxes. That's the biggest reason construction people usually vote red, is because they pay a fuckload of taxes because they make a ton of money, a ton of cash. And they're always, you know, they're usually in that 30% tax break. That's what I did too, Jake. I worked construction for fucking 10 years. But the thing is you've got a lot of people that are leaving California to get cheaper taxes, and they're moving to fucking Phoenix. And what's the town up north? Flagstaff. You got Flagstaff and Phoenix getting flooded by really, really, really rich people. And they don't really give a shit, dude. Money and economic things don't affect them. And social stuff doesn't affect them because they have so much money that they don't even care. They just stay completely away from... I think we're going to bail on Tarkov, guy. You guys feel like hanging out for a while and bullshitting? No, I believe you 100%, Jake, but that's because of the circles you run in, dude. People tend to associate with people they agree with. You know, you're not going to run into a lot of liberals because I'm assuming you're not a liberal. Well, you have to remember, Crackers, that Biden can say a lot of things, but one thing that nobody really fucking expected was how well the Republicans performed in the House. This is huge, dude. This is absolutely fucking huge what the Republicans pulled off in the House. And then maintaining this, more 99% sure we're going to maintain the Senate. Like, they talk about this Democratic net one right here. That doesn't really matter because the seat that they flipped was kind of like a quasi-liberal Republican anyways. She caucused with Democrats half the time as it was, and voted with them half the time anyways, not caucused. And so Georgia's going to end up in a runoff on the second one. This second, it's so close that it ends up in an automatic runoff because nobody got a clear majority. So they haven't called these yet, but I have a feeling that Georgia and North Carolina are going to stay. And then you've got Alaska, which how they haven't called that yet, I don't know. But Sullivan's going to stay there. So we're going to end up with 1, 2, 3 more for sure, which puts Republicans at 51. And then it's going to wait for the runoff in Georgia, which there's going to be so much fucking money dumped into that. I mean, it's going to be insane, dude. because I don't know what I haven't gone and looked at the rules yet, but it's going to be soon. They're going to do that election. They'll do that runoff pretty quickly, and you will just see an ungodly amount of money dumped into that. Because we really do need 52, if not 53, senators. Because Susan Collins in Maine and Lisa Murkowski in Alaska tend to vote blue sometimes. So you need that kind of. The Republicans need like a two vote cushion right now. They won't. They're never going to get universal health care, Jake. A lot of the shit that people. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are, but I had just gotten out of the Marine Corps and was going to college when Obama got elected. I was in my first year of college. And when he got elected, dude, it felt like the end of the world. I thought all our guns were going to get taken away. I thought we were going to be nationalized healthcare. The economy was going to be destroyed. Iran was going to rule the Middle East. I mean, it was all there, dude. I thought it was all there. And it never happened. It's the same thing with Trump. Everybody that was a Democrat was. And I kind of feel like this is why I have a little bit of a nuanced belief on it, because the extremism that I got sucked into in the first 4 years of Obama. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought Obama was a fucking awful president. He was horribly divisive. He absolutely hated people like us on the other people that didn't vote for him. I honestly believe he hated us. Like, he had great disdain for us. He thinks we're ignorant, non-progressive people that need to be shown the light. He also wasn't very good at policy. Yeah, but that's the thing, Jake, because the executive branch really doesn't have that much power, dude. Especially when Congress isn't sided with the people in the House or in the White House. Kamala is going to be a fucking token vice president. She's literally not going to do anything. You're going to see some shit happen. No, crackers. I think that there's somebody else pulling the strings. The whole idea that Kamala is going to be the one in charge is only going to happen if Biden gets so fucking far gone that like he can't function, which is a possibility. Like if he really is in late stage dementia and he just falls off a cliff in the next year, she'll end up taking over as president. But that's the thing. The more divisive and extreme somebody is, the less they can get done. Period. The sad thing is all of the weeding out. Yeah, but you can't really take too much into it, Jake, because Joe Biden's been making gaffes since he was fucking actually had normal fucking headspace fucking working. And there's nothing to get stressed out over yet, guys. I mean, you can think about it if you want, but and I'm not going to lie, I had a huge pit in my chest last night going to bed. And that was when I thought Wisconsin and Michigan were safe before, hundreds of thousands of votes just appeared out of fucking thin blue air. And they could be legit. I mean, he could lose Wisconsin. But if he takes Arizona and takes PA, North Carolina, and Georgia, there's still a path there. Biden hasn't won this yet. And assuming that these things flip, I mean, is the New York Times reporting better? Fox News fucking really screwed the pooch on the election this year. I mean, really fucking screwed the pooch. I mean, this is the New York Times, guys. This is one of the most liberal pro-Trump newspapers in the country, and they haven't even called Wisconsin and Michigan yet. Or Arizona, or Nevada. I know, Jake. I heard all of it, bud. I heard them all say it many, many, many times. Yeah, let me actually turn that off, dude. Give me 2 seconds here. Now that I'm here, I can remember to turn it off. I've been meaning to turn that off for a while. There, it should work now, Jake. Well, and I've seen them, Jake. It's not a surprise to me, man. I just don't put much weight into it.
I am so honored to introduce the next president of the United States.
Oh yeah, dude.
Kamala Harris.
It's low information loaders, crackers. They don't read the news. The people that voted for it probably didn't even know that any of that happened. All they see is Orange Man bad. And that's the really sad thing, is what the media has done. I mean, think about it, guys. If Joe Biden wins the way it is right now, he's going to win with 270 electoral votes. Like, literally zero margin. He's going to win with 270 votes. And that's with a majority of the country seeing nothing but 99% negative news about Trump. That's how bad they had to fucking skew this to win. I mean, Biden was literally up there saying, how many times did he say, Trump's telling you to inject bleach into yourself? And that thing got 4 Pinocchios by fucking the Washington Post's fucking editorial board, which is a fucking liberal rag. They ruled it a lie. And yet Trump or Biden still repeated it, and nobody ever called him on it. Nobody ever held Biden to a task. And that's, honestly, that's the scariest thing for me, is if the media is not going to hold Biden to task, then it's going to get really bad. Just like that they didn't do with Obama. Yeah, I saw it, Jake. And you're going to have that. And there's the Proud Boys guys, 3 or 4 of them got fucking knifed in D.C., dude. Yeah, unfortunately, in New York, you can't carry a weapon, crackers. So I live right here, boys. Right up here. So far away from anything dumb and retarded. And so, like, Missoula and Gallatin County, there's 2 universities here. So Montana State's here and University of Montana's here. So that's why those go blue. And then these 3 counties are Indian reservations. Which is why they primarily go blue. And it's funny because the way fucking Nebraska works, this one fucking district gets a whole electoral college, and that's the one vote that puts Biden over the edge. That puts him at 270. I mean, obviously all of them combined put him at 270, but that one county ends up, that's the one vote that gets him at 270. That's why you see this blue hash like this. Maine's kind of the same way. Nebraska gives 3 electoral college votes to the whoever wins the popular vote, and then 1 in each congressional district, which they have 2. So, (1 a.m. Eastern). So that's what in. So it's 10:48. So an hour, 2 hours, 15 minutes. We'll see another. Trump's campaign manager says they think they're going to take Arizona by 30. Dude, if that flips, Fox News is going to have so much fucking egg on its face, it's not even going to be funny, dude. If you don't mind me asking, crackers, how old are you, bud? Are you like 20, 25, 25, 30, 30, 35? Yeah, see, bud, I'm going to tell you right now, from 12 years ago, so you would have been 6, when Obama took over, he had a super majority in the Congress and a super majority in the Senate. So he had a super majority in the whole legislature. They could pass whatever they want, and the only way they had to cheat to get Obamacare passed, and it might very well end up being ruled unconstitutional here next month, anyways, when it hits the Supreme Court. So Biden doesn't have either of those, and he's nowhere near as politically savvy as Obama was. Nor does he have the race crudgel that was used against everybody. You know how many times I got called a fucking racist because I didn't like Obama? It had nothing to do with him being black. I hated his policies. I hated how he talked down to people. I hated how he thought he was better than everybody else. And how he was more concerned with his legacy than actually doing what was better with the country. At least that was my view on what he did. Despite all of that, they barely got anything done, dude. They didn't get comprehensive immigration reform done. They got 0 gun control done. mean, think about that. They had a super majority in Congress and couldn't get a single gun control bill passed. The only thing he did was sign an executive order that made it harder to import shit from Russia, which really fucking sucks, but it doesn't really affect gun rights. It just makes shit more expensive. So it doesn't ban the purchase, Jake, but what it does is it makes the Saiga specifically is an AK. So and it's manufactured in Russia. So basically they just made it so you can't import anything from Russia anymore. That's why everything from Mosin Nagants that used to be a fucking $100. Here, I'm gonna pull my green screen down, guys, if you don't mind. Okay. So, I guess one thing I was saying earlier is what's really fucking important for everybody is your local elections are so much more important than national election, guys. So much more important. Like, at the end of the day, that's really what decides, that's what decides your future. And it has the biggest impact on you is your local elections. It works fine for me for what we're doing, dude. I'll just create a box to put behind like a shaded box to put over it where the chat is. So, yeah, I'm not... Where we go from here is fucking super scary, man. I would prefer PA not be needed for Trump to win. It would have been so much more ideal. But I think that's where we're going to end up, unfortunately. I just can't believe Michigan swung like it did after Trump had so many fucking... Yeah, you just missed it, Vanilla. We were talking about that just a little bit ago. The Trump versus Gretchen caused that swing. Well, and the other thing a lot of people aren't going to understand, Jake, that's going to make this even so much worse is every state, the states are the ones that set the standards and stuff, right? So Michigan's standards for voting are different than Wisconsin's, which are different from Pennsylvania's. So these three states are going to go through this fucking recount process, and they're all going to be different. I can't believe that anybody would have voted for Whitmer over fucking Trump, though. Isn't she doing really bad locally in the state? Like, aren't people really, really, really unhappy with her in Michigan? Ideologically split. Yeah, I mean, everything anymore is... I mean, the fucking country's so polarized, everything is ideologically split. But, yikes, Big Jake Whitler. Whoo, that's a bit... See, it's rhetoric like that, whether it's deserved or not, which, from what I've seen about her, she's a pretty horrible... Like, she's Kamala Harris level horrible politician. That kind of rhetoric just shuts people down, man. And you see it so much on both sides. So much on both sides. I had people that I thought that and I can't say I thought, I had people that were pretty good friends of mine. Not like best friends or people I've known forever, but pretty good friends. They hung out with I fed them dinners, I fed them steak dinners, hung out with my family. They were liberal, and been resorted to being called a fucking bootlicker by him, dude. And when it comes to politics anymore, I used to be fucking incredibly firebrand, like scorched earth fucking arguments on Facebook kind of shit. And over the years, I realized you just don't win people over doing that. You don't convince people, and they just stop listening. Even if you're right, even if you are 1 bazillion times right, people just stop listening to you. So I've started to take a more measured tone when trying to talk to people about stuff, and it's hard because there's stuff that I'm insanely passionate about. I mean, for fuck's sake, I got body armor and a fucking scar sitting behind me. And so I'm insanely passionate about firearms. But oh no, you're 100% right, Sping, especially if when you're right blows up their worldview. Like, if their worldview is completely challenged by what you're saying, they would rather be wrong factually. They would rather be wrong factually, but right in their own mind with their worldview. And that is the challenge we as citizens have with each other to get over, dude. On both directions. Because this here is not good for the country. This divided, this polarized is absolutely not good for the country. And on my personal take of it, California bleeding blue to all of the neighboring states. That's all of these states used to be fucking solid red for years. Every one of them. Colorado, Obama was the one that flipped Colorado, and then it got fucking they legalized pot, and then it just then Colorado's never going to go red again, to the point where half of Colorado wants to secede and be a different state because they don't like they feel like they're ruled by Denver, right? And they're not represented. And the same thing's in California. In 2000, I'm trying to think of what year it was. It had to have been 2012. And I haven't looked at it since. But in 2012, there were more registered Republicans in California than Texas. Like the actual number of registered Republicans in California was greater than Texas. And California, so when everybody's this polarized, a good chunk of the population does not get represented. Period. And feelings do matter in that matter. If people don't feel like they're being represented and that they don't have a say in the government, that's how you end up with like fucking the Chaz in Seattle and fucking Portland. They are represented. The facts are they're completely represented. And more represented than most liberals are because of their place. Yes, big. They decriminalized fucking meth, heroin, cocaine, all of that shit. Now it's if you're a dealer, Spig, like if you're selling it, it's still criminal. But like if you get caught with it as a user, instead of going to jail, they send you to rehab. No, Sping, it's not what they had. It's for the most part, near as I can gather, and it's not to me to tell you what other people think or feel. I gauge from what I read on Facebook from people, or I see people talking about and posting outside of the most extreme versions of people, is they didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump. They hate Trump so much and hate everything he stands for. And they believe he's a racist. And they believe he's a fucking science denier. And they believe that he's this guy that just lies about everything. And the funny thing is if anybody who has ever been around a real New Yorker, somebody who grew up as a New Yorker, or somebody who knew that is who New Yorkers are. He's also a marketer, which is why he speaks in bombastic terms. Is he telling the truth? No, but he's not lying to you in the aspect of somebody who is telling you something, expecting you to believe 100% of what he's saying. It's him being bombastic and exaggeration, right? It's a different kind. It's not true, but it's not like Joe Biden saying, I'm not going to ban fracking, where that's a straight up fucking lie. Well, I can't say it's a lie. Him saying that I didn't say I'm going to ban fracking is a straight up lie. Yeah, Vanilla, that's fucking... I said it earlier, dude. If you're young and you're not a liberal, you don't have a heart. If you're old and you're not a conservative, you don't have a brain. It's an old saying, and doesn't apply to everybody. I have a couple of friends that are very liberal, very, very liberal, and they're very, very intelligent people. And they're very good at articulating their positions and why they believe in them. So we have fantastic conversations. We understand each other. We know we don't agree. We don't agree on a lot. One thing that we do agree on is we want what's best for the country. The question is just on how you get there, right? That's really what it comes down to here, is people have to realize that everybody wants what's good for the country, even if they don't agree with you. It's not that the end can be different, because some people like for example, I can't believe Florida passed a $15 minimum wage. That is gonna hurt. Any of you boys that live in Florida, that is gonna hurt. Yeah, pretty sure Florida passed a $15 minimum wage, bud. Whoa. Okay, so it's not right away. It's $1 per year, so 2026. Yeah, no, minimum. I mean, anybody who's a real economist will tell you that minimum wages do nothing to increase pay. All this is going to do is make McDonald's put in ATM like machines, like you order, like Wawa's, Bill, uh, um, Tom, the Wawas. That's just going to show up everywhere. As soon as you put in a $15 minimum wage, places are going to cut their staff in half and fill it with automated devices. You know, vanilla, it's good for you, dude. It's gonna thicken your skin up a little bit, man. No, Sping. The House is gonna stay to the Democrats, but the Republicans beat the wildest expectations for what they were gonna do in the House. Like everybody was saying, Republicans were gonna maintain or lose one or two seats. Like that was their best case scenario, is that they would maintain or lose one or two seats. Worst case scenario, they were going to lose 10 or 15 seats. They ended up fucking winning like 15 seats. So the Democratic majority in Congress has shrunk. Now, in a day-to-day matter, that doesn't matter very much because the Democrats still control the House. But what it does is it's really, 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 really bad for Democrats in 2 years. Like really bad for Democrats in 2 years because it shows their entire system of campaigning doesn't work on a national level. Plus, Hispanics are breaking for Republicans now, which is going to terrify the ever-living shit out of Democrats. Yeah, no, I get you, Vanilla. I grew up in a very liberal city too, man. I went to high school in a very liberal city. I grew up in Montana. I was from Montana, and I went to high school in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And it was the same deal. I was the only kid in my entire senior class to join the military. And this was the year after 9/11. Like I joined the military in 2002. I had signed up I did pre-dep before 9/11 happened, so I was already signed up. But I was the only one in our entire class that went out of high school. Now, 2 or 3 years later, there was a handful of people that showed up. But I totally get you. Oh, it was my pleasure, Sping. It was a boondoggle and a half for many, many years. A lot of fun. So, Republicans are probably going to end up at 52. 51 if we're unlucky, but probably end up at 52. Kind of, Arthos. It's more than that. There's a lot of mob mentality out there right now. And by mob mentality, I mean there's a lot of emotion stirred up into it. We're not gonna know till tomorrow, Sping. Somebody in Nevada needs to go to fuck jail because Nevada isn't. They said this morning they're not gonna report any more votes until noon tomorrow, and they're counting right now, so they're updating their counts, but they're not gonna report them till noon tomorrow, which is complete fucking horseshit. I haven't heard any any reasons yet, Arthos. Nobody's really answered. But Nevada is one of the states that had the most fucking train wreck of a election system as far as mail-out ballots. I'm still registered in fucking Nevada. I unregistered last year when we moved back to Montana. I'm still registered, and a ballot went to my old house with my fucking name on it, which means whoever's living there could fucking fill it out and send it in. I got this sheet. Let me see if it's got any personal information on it. So yeah, I downloaded it because I was getting a bunch of like texts from Nevada and shit, and I was like, why the fuck am I still getting stuff from Nevada? And so I had to download this fucking piece of paper and print it, and I have to send it to Nevada to pull myself off the voter rolls. And that shit's supposed to be automatic when you register in another state. When you register to vote, when I registered to vote in Montana, it should have pulled me off the rolls in fucking Nevada, but it didn't. So I got a ballot sent to my old address in fucking Nevada. And that happened. That happened. The post office said there was between, I have to go back and look, but I think between 300,000 and 400,000 people that they know do not live at the addresses that the voter rolls say they do, because the post office is more updated. 200,000 to 300,000 people that are going to get ballots sent to them because of the way Nevada went about it. There was no request for ballot. Like, you didn't request a mail-in ballot and get it. They sent it to you no matter what. So Nevada is going to be another shit show come tomorrow. I mean, the Las Vegas Review Journal did a fucking really good article on it. So you see this, guys? These are just ballots that the Las Vegas Review Journal journalists, they found them in the trash can. These ballots, these are all secured ballots that they found in a fucking trash can. Let's see if they've got any more pictures. There was pictures of like 10 of them pinned to like the community board, like at an apartment complex. Like there's a community board, pinned them right to the fucking wall there. Oh yeah, right here. Look, fucking ballots, dude. Maryland, but one of the few counties that's conservative. Get a lot of hate. Yeah, man. And there's too much fucking hate going around in the world anymore, dude. Just way too much fucking hate going on in the world. And I'm not even trying to sound fucking hippy dippy, but people are more concerned with not getting along with each other than they are of finding a common solution or coming to a goal. They're more excited about beating that person. You know, it's almost gamified. Like, it doesn't even matter how they do it or what it's over, but they've got to win. They've got to beat the other side. The other side's bad guys. We've got to beat them. And it shouldn't be, man. I mean, it is and it isn't, right? I mean, there's certain points where there's principles that you got to have principles in what you believe in. Because if you don't have principles, you don't really believe in anything. You just do what you think is best for the time at hand. And that's why principles are super important. And that's why I don't, when you get into an argument with somebody and they don't have a principled opinion, and you can see it pretty quickly because they'll attack Trump because he's a liar, right? Or something along those lines. Like, that's what they say. Trump's a liar. So they attack him for that. But then they excuse Biden for his lies. Oh, he just had a gaffe, or oh, he just messed up, or, you know, that's not really what he meant. That means you're not principled in your decision making. You're just doing what's convenient. Not necessarily one-sided, Arthos. It depends on where you're at, man. I mean, everybody, the whole police brutality and defund the police thing was never a real movement. It was never going to get anywhere on a meaningful level. There's a couple of city councils that went through it. Like, Seattle's going to completely fucking fall apart. It's only a matter of time. And they're going to reap what they sow, man. I mean, in Minnesota, that town that did it in Minnesota, Minneapolis, was it Minneapolis? They're already fucking regretting what they did. You know what I found fucking hilarious about Portland when I started doing a little research and digging in? Is the whole police, you know, racist police thing in the other. When you look at an aspect of race, Portland was one of the most integrated police departments in the country. Whites were a minority in the police force, are a minority in the police force in Portland. It's blacks, Hispanics, and Asians. So the idea that the Portland Police Department is some kind of racist organization shows you that people don't actually understand what they're saying or fighting for. They believe in it. And as Marx said, that's what useful idiots are, dude. Was it Marx or was it? Yeah, it was Marx, right? That coined useful idiots. And I talk about the left. There are people on the right that are fucking useful idiots too. 100%. You know, I'm trying to think back here. You know, if anybody out there that thinks Trump handled COVID perfectly and did anything wrong, probably a useful idiot. People who think that Trump intentionally fucked up COVID or was incompetent, also a useful idiot. It's somewhere in the middle. Trump made some mistakes, but I don't know that anyone. New York defunded the police as well. Horrible. Well, that's De Blasio. Fucking De Blasio's a fucking. Oh my god, dude. New York's getting exactly what it deserves. I'll just say that. New York is getting exactly what it deserves. They can have Cuomo, and then Cuomo and fucking CNN and De Blasio. They can have them and keep them. Well, in some cases, Arthos, it's even worse than that. Trump will do something good and it doesn't even get acknowledged. Or it gets spun to bad, right? I remember seeing a meme back in like 2017, and it was so fucking funny. And it was Trump going, oxygen is good. And liberals putting plastic bags over their head. And it's a joke, obviously. But that's the level some people were. I remember it was Crowder or fucking Ben Shapiro or who it was, but one of them said they want to see Trump come out for gun control just to watch liberals argue against it. What I can say to that, Arthos, is just remember, if Biden wins, don't turn into her, where everything Biden does is bad. And he can do no good. Look at it objectively, even if you disagree with him. Because I did it with Obama for probably the first 3 years of his presidency. He couldn't do anything fucking right. He was the most horrible person on the planet. Hated everything he did. Saw the negative in everything. And all that does is fuck up you inside, dude. So, and that's why when I talk with a lot of people that are very liberal, that are super, super anti-Trump, I know what they're coming from. I know what they're going through because I did it myself on the other side. And I regret it, dude. I regret it because I wasn't effective in changing people's minds. I missed out on understanding a lot of different people's perspectives for a lot of years. And it doesn't get you forward. So we'll see. We got a rough week ahead of us. I hope what I said earlier is true, that everybody's just going to be so burnt out on this that they're going to be happy to see it over, and we won't see large-scale riots or people doing bad things. I really hope so. You're going to see little dust-ups here and there, but I don't know. And the media is going to blow them up and make them look bigger than they are, just because it gets ratings. It's clickbait. That's all the media is turned into now. It's clickbait. If I had to guess, Arthos, it's probably going to be about 3 weeks, maybe 4. Just because of the Supreme Court's going to get involved. And it may be longer. A buddy of mine posted something and he pointed out that technically if electors... So technically Biden could get to 270 in the Electoral College and have electors defect and not vote for him. It happened last year with Clinton and Trump. There was 3 or 4 electors that didn't vote. But they were so far past the margins it didn't matter. So you could technically end up with this going to the House and the Senate, which means you could end up with a Biden-Pence presidency and vice presidency. Like that's a possibility right now. As fucking batshit crazy as that sounds, that's a possibility. But again, that's just looking into the future. It's something we have no idea how it's going to happen. I don't think that's very likely. I honestly don't, but no shit, Vanilla. Exactly. And it's I can't. It might be a Kevin Costner movie. There's an old. If you guys want to see something funny and it's actually playing in right now, go look at I think it's called The Vote or something like that. It's an old Kevin Costner movie, and it literally has to do with Nebraska and their one vote, and how this one guy, his one vote, decides the entire presidential election because of it. But I think I'm going to sign off with that, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. Maybe we turn this into a regular deal. I'll pick a day and a night and or a couple times a week, and we'll just go through the news and we'll go through everything and fucking bullshit and talk about it. What do you guys think? I'll tell you what, guys. I'll do it, and I'll try to come up with some specific topics because we just kind of meandered all over the place tonight. But I'll pick some specific topics and we'll kind of gear around those and talk about them and talk about the impacts and where they go. Obviously, for the next couple of weeks, it'll probably be the elections and stuff. But the presidential election and whatnot, but like the House races and Senate races and stuff. So, kind of like crunching numbers in Tarkov is a hobby. Current events and politics is a huge fucking hobby of mine too. So, this might be a good thing. Need to get some level-headed liberals involved too, so we can have some people on both sides to talk. Yeah, likewise, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. You said you need this vanilla. I need it too, man. This is a good outlet for me. I'm probably going to start another YouTube channel, guys. It's going to be, in fact, it's not probably. I am starting another YouTube channel that's going to be completely non-gaming related. That's going to be this here. I've been thinking about doing it for, honestly, longer than before I was thinking about doing video game stuff. Do it with another buddy of mine who's a Marine too. We're going to call it Two Marine Dads. Just kind of do a podcast, and I'll probably do like two or three videos a day, like real quick, like 10-15 minute videos just talking about stuff. So I'll keep you guys posted about that, and we'll go from there. But otherwise, you guys have a good night. Stay safe. Stay level-headed. Don't fucking chew on antacid. Things are going to be fine no matter which way this goes. Everybody's going to be A-okay, I promise you. And we'll get through it as a country, I promise. This country's lasted through a lot more scarier shit than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris or Trump and fucking Pence. So it's not going to be too big of a deal. It will if you ask some people, but some people are saying the same thing about Biden, Arthos. So it goes both ways. All right, guys, you have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you later.